Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I'm Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my videos on various topics of geography, environment and research methodology on my channel, The Geoecologist. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing our channel, and also for the earlier videos, you can check our playlist section. And also, if you're looking for competitive examination courses, you can visit our website, thegeoecologist.com, where we have different courses like geography optional completely covered, UGC NET exam related courses and other courses as well. So you can go there and check for yourself. Now, in today's session in political geography, we are going to discuss about the geographies of representation, the concepts of malapportionment and gerrymandering. So what are these concepts? Let's understand, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also don't forget to please share the videos with others as well. So now let's understand this concept of the geography of representation, especially in electoral geography, in political geography aspects. This is very important to understand. So geographical interest in representation is centered upon certain principles, and one of them is electoral districting, and also the twin abuses of this electoral geography that we say is malapportionment and gerrymandering. So what is this malaise? What is this abuse all about? So this means of study recently has evolved from reporting of abuses and biases to particular political parties, where during an elections one party is favored with certain means. So what is this malapportionment and this concept of gerrymandering? Let's understand. So the processes do not involve regularity to state legislative districts, therefore major demographic changes may lead to this malapportionment. So if you look into this, plurality is the system of voting, and in this what you'll observe is this particular flow diagram. One is the positive aspect and one is the negative aspect. So what is the positive aspect? Where percentage seats won are increasing than percentage votes are polled. But what is the negative aspect? The negative is the seats won are decreasing than seats percentage polled. So this is something where you'll observe malapportionment and gerrymandering finds its place. Because of this, we can understand clearly what is this electoral bias. So what you observe here in geography, it can help us to understand the formation of these electoral districts, and then we can look into what's happening with malapportionment and also this particular gerrymandering. So reapportionment, this is one process. So what is this? Process of redistricting seats in House of Representatives or other legislative body according to the population of a given area of each state. So it involves reassigning the number of House representatives each state may have. So how many MLAs or how many MPs you can have in one state? This is done here through the population part. Then what you observe, redistricting. Now the process of drawing electoral district boundaries. So if this is my electoral district, how do I draw the boundary for a particular electorate? So this is very important here. It involves drawing boundaries within each state for voting and representation after this reapportionment has taken place. So this is the second process. And then what you observe is malapportionment here. So what is this malapportionment? If you look carefully, you will find it out that it is defined as spatial variation. That's where geography is. Spatial variation in sizes of electorate from one constituency to the other, and electoral biases involved. And then you can see 1960 reapportionment revolution arose from major redistricting issues in United States. That's when this concept got famous. So what you observe, major study is O'Loughlin's study of 1980, where analysis of 16 countries in which district size is related to effects of political parties has been done. And what you'll observe, it involves a design for constituencies. So these studies tell us that how this malapportionment was done to favor a particular political party. So these are the things that influences the electoral politics, and that's what we say in electoral geography. So what you observe, the effects of malapportionment now. So effects of malapportionment can be observed clearly post the election when the debates are happening around us. We always keep talking about these issues. Over representation, mainly rural. Then you can see change in number of seats reserved for SCs and ST candidates. Then workload legislatures vary widely, often be dominated by one particular ideology maybe, and one voter's vote is worth 2 or 3 many times that we keep talking about, and difference between number of registered and actual voters is always a question where election commissions always keep a track of. So what we look into is this is basically because of malapportionment, when portion is not properly given that it should have been. So what you observe, gerrymandering is the second abuse that we talk about in electoral politics and in electoral geography. So it refers to practice of dividing a geographic area and into representative district in a way. And what is this way? This particular way of dividing is which gives political advantage to one party or one group in election. This is called gerrymandering. So if you look here, the term gerrymandering, it is believed to be originated again in United States in 19th century. So it's basically a combination of the word Gerry after this Massachusetts governor Elbridge Gerry. And salamander is the word basically due to the shape of the political district that was carved out. It was looking like a salamander. So from this Gerry and this mander became gerrymandering. So this is something very interesting. So the gerrymandering term is very common across electoral geography, across electoral politics, and today the term is widely recognized as negative practice, as an abuse as we talked about that can undermine democracy. So what you observe, let's look into this particular diagram and understand gerrymandering, which is a common practice in political geography, in electoral geography, to gain the political electoral districts, right? And then there is a manipulation involved here. So carefully, if you observe here in this diagram, the disproportionate part, which is gerrymandering, how it's done. So traditionally, it should have been done like this. But when this is carved like this, then what you observe? This is disproportionation, right? So what you observe? The dominance of blue alongside the yellow. This is where you observe the proportionate and disproportionate outcomes. So proportionate is this. This diagram clearly tells us that if you are redistricting like this, it is called gerrymandering because it's trying to favor a particular party in majority. This can involve drawing district boundaries in a way that favors one candidate over the other candidate or one party over the other, right? And electoral districts are often created based on range of factors, which are this: population size, demographic characteristics, and geographic features. These three, right? But here gerrymandering undermines these principles of fair representation and especially the democratic setup. So this is very important. Now, gerrymandering can take a variety of forms. What are the forms? Let's look into it. The first is called packing. What is this? It involves drawing district boundaries in a way that concentrates supporters of a particular party from a particular demographic group into a single district. This is called packing. So pack all your voters in your district, right? Then what is this? Cracking. So after the packing is cracking. This involves dividing a demographic group, right? So if you divide the demographic group or community across multiple districts, their idea of strength is diluted, right? That's what the cracking means. And then there is something called kidnapping. Remember, this is not that kidnapping for ransom. This kidnapping basically is redrawing district boundaries to move a particular politician's constituents into a district where they are less likely to support them, right? So this is kind of a kidnapping. And then what you observe is hijacking. This involves redrawing district boundaries in a way that forces two incumbents from the same party to compete against each other, thus weakening parties' overall representation in legislature. So if you are from a different party and you want the other party to not succeed, you can create a fight between the two, right? So this is kind of a hijacking that involves here, right? So this is very important. And then what you have, there are two types of major gerrymandering words, partisan and racial as well. Now if you observe, partisan gerrymandering involves redrawing the districts, ensuring that one political party has advantage over the other, and racial is, the word itself tells us, majority voters and minority voters of a particular racial or ethnic group. So this is kind of a division that we create and is called gerrymandering. So techniques of gerrymandering include excess vote technique, wasted vote technique, stack type gerrymander. So if you look into these kind of techniques, you will find that there is a scholar called Prescott. In 1972, he suggested two methods of checking gerrymandering as well, right? So excess vote is practice of drawing boundaries in such a way that one group is concentrated and that's why they have a majority. Wasted vote technique is boundaries are drawn to break up concentration of voters in number of districts so that their votes is wasted. Right? And stack type gerrymander is draw circuitous boundaries, circumscribing ridiculous shapes to enclose pockets of strengths of group. So randomly, if you are drawing a boundary, this is stack type gerrymander. So what does Prescott suggest us? He says, inspect map of constituencies first, discover whether there are many boundaries with certain highly twisted shapes. If you see highly twisted shapes of these constituencies, it means there is a problem. And wastage of votes can be shown through a graph recording percentage of votes gained by a party for every seat contested. So this is an analysis that was suggested all the way back in 1972, right? So these are certain things that we need to look into, but are there certain advantages of gerrymandering as well? So let's look into it. Secure electoral advantage. This is called gerrymandering can be used to create safe districts for particular political party or candidate, ensuring they have a higher chance of winning the election. So this advantage is to one particular party. Right? Increase in representation. Gerrymandering can also be used to create majority-minority district, which can increase representation of minority groups as well sometimes, and preserve existing communities. So gerrymandering can be used to preserve existing communities and neighborhoods by keeping them within the same district. That's important. But look into so many disadvantages as well. So undermines democracy, reduces competition, divides communities, reduces accountability, and I'm sure with so many elections around us, we keep talking about that what's happening and how this electoral politics takes over the geography, right? And how geographies influence the electoral politics, right? So these are the certain things that we need to look into. Now let's, at the end, take some examples of gerrymandering in India. So Uttar Pradesh in 2008, the Delimitation Commission, if you observe, redraw these electoral boundaries in Uttar Pradesh, the most populous state in India. And what happens? The new boundaries were criticized for favoring ruling party at that time, the Bahujan Samaj Party. So this is one example that came into the news. Tamil Nadu in 2018, the Madras High Court ordered a re-evaluation of electoral boundaries in Tamil Nadu, and you say All India Anna Dravid Munitra Khadga, right? AIADMK, right? So the allegations were against this particular party, and in West Bengal in 2021 against Trinamool Congress again. So these are certain examples across the last decade in India that you will see that these examples are there of gerrymandering which have been coming into the news, right? So the future of gerrymandering, if you observe, the public awareness and activism is needed to reduce it. Legal challenges and court rulings are therefore going to be very important, and technological advancement will make it more transparent. And partisan polarization. In highly polarized political environments, the incentive to engage gerrymandering may be stronger. So this is very important here that we have proper efforts for it. So that's what the basic idea of malapportionment and gerrymandering is in context to our electoral geography. These factors, these examples, and the methods, advantages and disadvantages you can learn, and whenever you're required to write it in your examination, you can utilize it. So now, when we have discussed various aspects of the geographies of representation in political geography, in the sessions to come, we'll be talking more on other aspects. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and don't forget to share the videos with others as well.